Welcome to the AU Scoop. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka Dukes D Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes D Scoop. And please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to become a member, if you want to support, go hit the link in the description, scroll to the bottom, find out how to be a member. We've got varying numbers, or excuse me, varying levels of support, and all is appreciated. Hey, thank you for everything you guys do. All right, let's get into it. The last time we talked, I was asking the question, was it time to panic in Auburn about recruiting? Coming off the heels of Travis Burgess committing to North Carolina over Auburn, a guy who a lot of people thought would have been in the class. Not a whole lot of excitement around recruiting when it comes to getting commitments. When you look at Auburn, I think they have 7, 8 guys committed at the most right now. You got 2 guys who basically everybody is not expecting to be in the class, and 2 linebackers in Shadarius Tootle and J. Mike Garrett. So it was kind of like Auburn was in a weird place. But I think after official visit weekend, there has to be some signs of some optimism. You see some other options. I want to start with the linebacker portion of it. My biggest worry outside of offensive line, which my worry with Auburn is offensive line every year as far as recruiting goes. You always want to make sure that you're stocked heavily on the offensive line. But linebackers is a place where you look at the roster and you say, where could you use a lot of help? You need some linebacker depth. I think getting Anthony Davis, Ant Davis Jr., out of Grayson, the guy who plays on the other side of um, the best linebacker in the country, and Tyler Atkinson. I think a lot of times you don't realize how good Anthony Davis is because of how much spotlight Tyler Atkinson gets. I literally talked to a defensive coordinator not too long ago, and they said it's like, bro, if he could be on the team by himself and be the guy, he probably would be ranked a little higher because you could see him do more. But just playing with a guy like Atkinson, who's at right now he's a generational talent. Sometimes that can be overshadowing. But make no mistake about it, Anthony Davis can go. I think Auburn was, you know, has some guys that it's not even that they're ranked higher because there's some guys that Auburn's recruiting that aren't ranked as high as Ant Davis. But for the scheme, for whatever reason, there wasn't the same sense of urgency that there is now. And when you think about Ant Davis, Auburn has to pour it on, and I think they will. When you get around him, you look at his football acumen, um, the type of program he comes from, a state championship winning program, his athletic gifts, his tools, his ability to fly around playing coverage, and he will hit you. I think he's what you're looking for in a new age linebacker. So I think Auburn made a decent move here this weekend. This is what Christian Clemente had to say on it. He dropped a great article on auburnundercover.com. This is what he had to say going into it. This is about Anthony Davis Jr. A long-time target at linebacker, it looked like Anthony Davis Jr. could commit at one point. Auburn opted to keep navigating through his linebacker board, and Davis continued on through his process with Ole Miss and Alabama, the 2 teams trending at the moment. More of a dime backer for Auburn. Davis may be behind Adam Belogun Ali at that spot currently. How hard of a push Auburn makes this weekend will be telling. All right, so from what I'm hearing, Auburn made a pretty big push. He got to spend some one-on-one time with Coach Durkin, and I think this is one of those things where Auburn makes a move. I think as it continues, I think they've seen enough. From what I'm hearing, they've seen enough. There's like, hey, bro, like he's a guy we need to have in this class. Not even a true circle back because they never stopped recruiting him. But yeah, I mean, when you look at having those commitments already, it's like, you can't really blame Auburn for seeing a guy that they like and you already have commitments that are similar. Well, as you start to say, okay, well, we got these guys committed that took the space in that boat. It's not one of those things where you look at it like, well, Auburn didn't want me. There was a time where Auburn just didn't have space. So now, um, with things shaking out the way that they have, I think you can easily see Auburn turn up the pressure on Anthony Davis, which they have. This was a quote. This is basically paraphrase quotes from Clemente again. Make sure you go to auburnundercover.com and check his work out. He said all the schools in his top 5 are pretty equal. Auburn continues to be a school he's plenty familiar with. This OV was more about getting time around Durkin and spending time with him. He goes to Ole Miss, Michigan, and Alabama the next 3 weekends. Now, the industry right now, for people who are in the know, feel like Alabama is the team to beat. He fits what they want to do. They won't fly around and hit you linebackers. Auburn right now has some ground to make up on Bama. Ole Miss is at him heavily. So this is a guy who's originally from the south side of Atlanta. So like I always say, like Auburn is the closest school to you, even closer than UGA. I think this was a guy that Auburn had the opportunity to close out earlier, but having the commitments of a Tootle and a Garrett, I think there just wasn't enough spaces in the room. Now that it seems like all 3 of those parties could be looking elsewhere, Anthony Davis is the type of guy that you want in this class. There's another linebacker that I think is really exciting. A guy out of Mississippi, goes around 6'1.5", 225. Guy by the name of TJ White. TJ White is what I think Auburn needs. He's more of a NFL body already, less developmental, a true Mike, a thumper, a thumper that can run, has good hips, puts you in the mind more of an Elijah Melendez with how he shaped his body. Right now, he's ranked at number 5. 24/7 has him as a top 100 player, the number 5 linebacker in the country. Only this first time actually visiting Auburn and started recruiting him last year. A lot of people think that Mississippi State is a hometown guy. Mississippi State, like he's probably one of those guys. If Mississippi State were able to land him, it's a huge win to keep a guy like this at home. And they are guns a-blazing. But it's a lot of teams that want him. Tennessee, Florida State. He visits Tennessee the 13th, Florida State the 6th, and then he goes to and he just flipped. So right now, the Florida State the 6th, then Tennessee, then Mississippi State. Tennessee type guy as well. SEC linebacker, but he's someone that I think the way he plays, when you see the force that he brings when he does make tackles, I mean, very impressive guy. Ran 11.65 in 100 meters. 20-foot, almost 21-foot long jump, explosive linebacker. Had 102 tackles last year. Jackson Academy. He said Auburn gave him, Clemente was all over it. He said Auburn gave him a lot to think about. Whole family came. They saw campus. This is this quote. This is straight from TJ White. It was good. I liked it. It was my first time. I really got to see the campus, see the scheme fit, and where I would play. When I got here, I went up to Coach Durkin's office and we talked about it. Then I had a good time the rest of the time. Then I had a good time the rest of my time here with Jamonte Waller, my boy from Mississippi. That's what he had to say about Durkin. He's honest. He's a good coach. He's really developed a lot of linebackers to the draft. He's up front about what he's about. I think that's really good. So DJ Durkin is for linebackers who want to be coached hard. He's not for a linebacker that wants to be told how good he is. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, got a chance to. I've met multiple people who've been recruited by Coach Durkin, who played for Coach Durkin. He's a no nonsense type of guy. He's gonna bite on you. You got to be secure in who you are to be the guy for DJ Durkin. He's gonna bite on you, but for a linebacker that wants to be coached hard, they feel like Coach Durkin can bring that out of you. And he wants to talk football. He don't want to talk much more than the ball. Like, the family stuff is cool and everything else, but this man wants to talk ball. And if you got a ball first backer, this is the place for you. And TJ White seems to be that type of guy. I think it's always interesting when you think about what Auburn is known for when it comes to the linebacker position. So for Tiger fans, if you want to feel good about the TJ White recruitment, you can see that multiple schools are after him. But Clemente asked, where do the Tigers stack up on your list now? And this was his response. I mean, after this, Auburn is a top school. It's going to be a lot to think about. The developmental part about Auburn. So he's saying, and I think we can read that a little bit better. It's going to be a lot to think about the developmental part. And he's talking about Auburn. They have a real good defense and have developed a lot of linebackers, a lot of defensive players in general. And Coach Durkin is one of the best defensive coordinators. For a football-focused guy, that's what you want to hear. That, you know, you're going to get the facilities, you're going to get the scheme, you're going to get developed, right? And at a position where you could be asked to play early, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the NIL. I think TJ White has to be a priority in this class. You need a linebacker like this. Mike, you've got the guys who can fly, man. You know, I'm so excited for Elijah Melendez, for a traditional Mike. Somebody's going to come up and smack you with some size. And then when you got the off-ball backers and your dime backers, you got guys that can fly around. I believe that's what Auburn has been recruiting better than they had. It's been a long time since I've seen like Auburn recruit this well, like with DeMarcus Riddick. I keep telling you, Xavier Atkins is going to be a problem. Like, you got guys who can fly around the ball and run. But getting these guys, these bigger guys who just come up and smack you and compliment these other guys, the guys with the speed, I think this is important for Auburn. His last quote, Clemente had a really good article. His last quote was, I feel like I'll know. He said he wants to go somewhere where it feels like home. So when home having a buddy from Mississippi like Jamonte Waller, having another Mississippi guy in Deuce Knight, the buzz that goes along with, you know, Hugh Freeze, who made a lot of bones in Mississippi, knows a lot of people in Mississippi, Derek Nix, who was at Ole Miss for a long time. You can get that Mississippi feel in Auburn. And I can't say it enough. I think linebacker is a very important position. I was going to go through the whole defense, but I think we're going to stop here. We'll call this part 1. And we'll drop a few videos, man. You know, this will be part 1. Yeah, we'll just leave it at the linebackers. Let's go safeties next. Another position I think Auburn is really excited about recruiting. So let's go safeties. And shoot, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. And make sure you go check out auburnundercover.com. And if you like to advertise in Auburn or any of my content, shoot me a DM, shoot me a Gmail, let me know. All right, guys, appreciate it.